Chapter 4. Hoisting the Sails. Early in the morning, whilst the light was still pale and translucent, Brendan and his brother, Padre, in one simultaneous move, lifted the upturned curragh, balanced it on their shoulders, steadied their arms, and began the long walk towards Brandon Creek. As they walked, their eyes saw only the stony ground beneath their feet, and the birds from above saw a strange dark object with 4 legs getting closer to the water's edge. Each man kept in time with the other, and underneath his breath, Brendan muttered the little prayer that his father had taught him. "Dear God, be good to me. The sea is so wide and my boat is so small." Brendan lost count of the many times he said it, and when suddenly they had rounded the sharp left bend and were on the final gentle hill to the creek, Padre shouted, "Heave!" and together they laid the curragh on its back onto the grey jetty. It was now quite light, and the waves were catching the sun as she began to dance on the water. Brendan had always loved the stillness of the creek. It seemed to show the respectful silence that these beautiful vessels deserved, and they slipped quietly into the salt water, or as they rested on the grass nearby. Brendan had almost forgotten why he was here, and was suddenly aware that Padre was looking at something behind him. Brendan turned and saw his mother running down the lane towards them. Brendan was so shocked he had to steady himself with a hand on the boat. "You didn't think you would leave me without a proper sending off, did you?" his mother asked. Brendan remained silent. He watched as his mother sprinkled some holy water over the boat and prayed that God, the Son and the Spirit would guard him and watch over him until he had returned. She made the sign of the cross and embraced Brendan, her oldest son. "Mother," Brendan gasped, as she helped him into his boat. She pushed some food and wine into his hands, just in case, as she always used to say. He was just about to turn and say something when a large wave came over the jetty and took him and his curragh into the creek. As Brendan began to pull up the sail, he shouted, breaking the silence all around, "I'll be seeing you soon." As he left the creek, he turned and saw them running up to the top of the cliff. He remembered the last time his mother had waved off a curragh from there. A single tear slipped down the crease of his face as he remembered that cold day his father's curragh was washed up ashore. His mother had said that day the sea had taken the finest man in all of Ireland. She had sworn that none of her sons would ever sail on the water again. Brendan prayed that God would be good to him.